Softscaping versus hardscaping. What is the right balance for a high-end yard? Everybody, I'm Jacob with Scooters Lawn Care, and softscaping and hardscaping are something that we both love, and we know how much they change the total feel of your home. So today we're going to get right into this. The common mistake that everyone makes is that you have your property and you start to think, man, landscaping, some plants would really make this look better. And before you know it, you've got plant after plant, this tree planted there, and you've got all of these things everywhere. And it starts to get more and more full. And then a lot of times more and more cluttered. And the aesthetic starts to go further and further backwards each plant or each little area that you attack. And point number one, to achieve the right balance, it is the right plan. The balance is very aesthetic. It is really what you like most. But for it to truly look, feel, and function with what you need most, the question is, what is the use? What are you using it for? Do you have large gatherings, which are going to require a lot more hardscaping and a lot more flat area? Do you have small gatherings but want a lot of privacy, feel like you're in a beautiful garden, or you just have some wilderness or some secluded area around you? Both of those situations are very different from one another, and you cannot treat them the exact same. So first, it's what is the use for this outside area, so we can then take that use and apply the appropriate plan. Because first you find out the use, then we start to build out a plan based off of that. And if we know someone has large parties and we have some semblance of an idea of how many people they typically host, now we can see how much square footage of surface area they need to have that get together if they're going to have most of those people outside. We're going to be able to see, do we need to have outside dining area, or is it just an outside area for gathering? Are we going to need to incorporate a pergola? What all is it going to need outside to fit that homeowner's desires? All this comes together and starts the plan. And the plan is going to dictate where everything goes, and what is most effective is on that plan is to attack your foundation first. And your foundation, just like the foundation of your home is the slab it sits on or the basement, the foundation of your whole outside living area is going to be the hardscape. It's going to be the flat area where everybody gathers on. So we start with the foundation. Truly, we start with a plan. And then as we build, we start with the foundation. And then finally, we build out the landscaping and the planting around that. That's where if people do too much planting on the front end, depending on the size and the need of your hardscape area, so often installation causes a lot of destruction, and you can usually wipe out most of the yard if the backyard is small, just using the machinery to get the installation done. So start with the plan, install the foundation, which is all of your hardscaping, and then move to your softscaping. Next, when that goes in the right flow, and the plan is well done, you really start to see how softscaping complements all of your hardscaping. It's not just a piece, they complement each other. From the ledge lights on the hardscape area that flow into the landscape area to the path lights in the landscape area, they all build together to complement each other and allow usability across all aspects of your landscape. So one is not whole without the other to some amount. And even if the percentage of softscaping was really small, it's still built as a complement to the initial foundational hardscaping plan that you have in place. And this is huge. Some people look at plants and that just like, oh, you got to have it because it's landscape. No, it is an accent. It is a complement to everything else that takes this very hard surface, which is hardscaping, and now starts to soften all of that with other different textures and aspects as well. So let's break down the visual balance of this. On a high-end install, 60 to 70% of the whole visual part of this comes from the hardscaped areas. Think patios, think seating, think outdoor kitchens, think fireplace fixtures, think all of these aspects together, how they tie together with the lighting, how they all work together and integrate. That's going to be the majority of the look of that aesthetic, that visual balance of your outdoor living area. Softscaping fills the remaining 30 to 40 with texture and movement and soft pieces, hence Softscape, to soften up the visual aesthetic so you have a nice complementing area that has not just one thing. It's like a parking lot's all concrete. It's just all of this blank bland thing. This allows you to have the full gamut in your outside area to make sure it is well rounded and works well with everything and is visually pleasing, but always with intention. The difference between a luxury landscape and a well thought out plan is oftentimes negative spaces, meaning some people see the opportunity to have this big area and they just are like, what all can we cram into it? And a lot of times that's actually the opposite of what you're going to want. If you look at beautiful interior design, a lot of times there's just negative open space that allows separation, that defines areas. Not everything needs to be filled just because it can be filled. It's a true balancing act between solid and soft fixtures, between texture and movement and stone and immovable things. And these balances are what truly give it a luxurious feel and don't just make it feel forced. And oftentimes when you see stuff that's not thought out, or even more so, you see someone that has built a little area that adds on and adds on and adds on, even if you plan to phase something together, do multiple phases of a project, it needs to be multiple phases of one project in its entirety versus multiple phases of we came up with this and we came up with this, and you get this patchwork quilt or you get this area that's filled with random plants. This all needs to have function and intention to truly make it work right. And finally, why all of this is so important, because we want to add timeless value to your home. And we know you do as well. You don't want to constantly have to be redoing or revisiting this project. A true, well thought out landscape area is timeless. It's not just going to last 2 or 3 years. Hardscaping is a permanent fixture. When done right, it can last a lifetime. So yes, there will be maintenance. There will be things that need touched up. But when done well, this truly changes the outside area in your outdoor living area, which is an extension of your home, and allows you to have a beautiful addition to your home with more usable surface that truly, one, is going to last forever, and then secondly, is going to bring additional value to your home, not just for your enjoyment, but future additional value when you go to sell the home. And that's when they're done well and they're thought out and well planned, so they have usability for future owners and future people that could potentially want to buy your home. So finally, remember, Hardscape sets the tone, Softscape sets the mood. Without these two, there is no yin and yang. There is no one complementing the other. One feels alone without the other. And in your backyard, the plan that meets what and how you want to use your yard to truly give you the outcomes and that perfect flow and intentional design between both is going to win every time. It is going to bring a lifetime of value to you. So if you want help with any of these things, reach out to us. We would love to work with you to figure out exactly what you need for what you want to create in your backyard.